Galima vieną?
Galiu, bet neblogai kalbu. Biški blogai, bet gali paklausti.
Kitais metais...
The drama surrounding the 2024 NBA draft didn't start with Mattis Buzzelis, but it might end with him. Because what once looked like a forgettable, talent-thin draft is now shaping up to be one of the biggest regrets for 10 NBA teams. They all passed on a 6 feet 10 inches Lithuanian-American wing who was supposed to be the #1 pick. And now, he's starting to look like the biggest steal since Giannis. But let's rewind. Not every draft has its Wembanyama or Cooper Flagg, those once-in-a-decade talents that make scouts salivate and GMs desperate. The 2024 NBA draft was different. It lacked a clear frontrunner. The hype machine was quiet. The buzz was scattered. But one name still stood out: Mattis Buzzelis. For years, he'd been touted as the next big thing. He was a 5-star phenom, the high school kid who dunked on Cooper Flagg, who went toe-to-toe with the best in the nation, and walked away with accolades and respect. He wasn't some obscure talent hidden overseas. He was front and center in the American basketball pipeline, bred in Chicago, forged at elite prep schools, and crowned with back-to-back Gatorade Player of the Year honors in 2 different states. From a legacy family rooted in Lithuanian basketball royalty to dominating highlight reels in high school, Buzzelis was built for stardom. His athletic foundation was unconventional. Not AAU, but swimming and gymnastics. That's where his core strength, coordination, and balance came from. It wasn't the hardwood that first molded his body. It was the pool lanes and gym mats. And once he did pick up the basketball, it didn't take long before he looked like he was born with it in his hands. At Brewster Academy, a basketball factory known for producing future pros, Buzzelis became more than just a name. He became a force. He played alongside top-tier talent, like Terrence Clarke, and held his own. He made noise in every major high school showcase: the McDonald's All-American Game, Jordan Brand Classic, Nike Hoop Summit. But what truly turned heads was his performance in the dunk contest. With the world watching Bronny James as the legacy act, it was Buzzelis who stole the spotlight with his explosive leaping ability and showmanship. This 6 feet 10 inches white kid with a silky handle and highlight dunks wasn't just a novelty. He was the real deal. But then came the curveball. Instead of suiting up for Duke or Kentucky like most 5-star recruits dream about, Buzzelis made a bold move. He signed a $1 million deal with the G League Ignite. It wasn't just about the money. He wanted NBA coaching, NBA rules, and NBA-level competition. He wanted to fast-track his way to the league, bypass the NCAA machine, and face grown men before declaring for the draft. On paper, the plan made sense. In practice, it backfired. The Ignite experiment, already under scrutiny, collapsed during Buzzelis' tenure. Despite boasting 2 projected top picks in Buzzelis and Ron Holland, the team finished dead last. 2 wins, 34 losses. They dropped 32 straight games. The numbers were damning, and scouts took note. Because fair or not, NBA teams want winners. They want someone who can lead, even on a flawed roster. And the narrative quickly turned. If Buzzelis couldn't carry a G League team, how could he elevate a struggling NBA franchise? Suddenly, the kid once projected to go first overall was sliding. And as the draft approached, the name Zachary Reese started climbing boards. Buzzelis didn't take the slight quietly. He challenged Reese to a one-on-one, called him out, said he didn't want smoke. Fans ate it up. Finally, some edge. Some competitiveness. Buzzelis wasn't trying to be friends. He was trying to be great. But the NBA didn't bite. On draft night, one team after another passed him up. Until the 11th pick, when the Chicago Bulls, the hometown team, took a chance. It was poetic. The prodigal son returns. A kid born in Chicago, once overlooked, now tasked with reviving a franchise desperate for identity. And from the moment he put on that Bulls jersey, the pressure was real. Buzzelis showed flashes in the Summer League, most notably dropping 28 points on the Warriors. His 3-point stroke looked smooth, his confidence unshakable. Fans were hopeful. The matchup against the Hawks, which could have been his showdown with Reese, fizzled when the top pick sat out. But the message was clear. Buzz wasn't backing down from anyone. Still, when the season started, Buzzelis found himself buried on the bench. Patrick Williams and the veterans soaked up minutes while the young gun waited for his chance. He didn't hide his frustration. He voiced it publicly. said he couldn't grow without playing real NBA minutes. Fans agreed. The Bulls weren't contending. Why not let the rookie cook? Coach Billy Donovan finally gave him a shot after the Bulls cleared house at the trade deadline, shipping out Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And when Buzzelis stepped onto the floor as a starter, something changed. He wasn't just ready. He was electric. Against the Lakers, he dropped 31 points. On the road, at Crypto.com Arena, 5 threes. Nearly flawless. The moment didn't scare him, it charged him. He followed it up with 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists against the Mavericks. He wasn't just scoring, he was doing everything. Rebounding, passing, defending. He looked like a franchise cornerstone. The numbers told one story: 13.3 points, 4.4 rebounds, 1.8 assists as a starter, but the eye test told another. This wasn't just a talented rookie. This was a player with superstar potential. He finished the season strong, leading Chicago to a 9 seed and a play-in berth. They didn't go far, but they had something to build around. Something real. And it wasn't just about offense. Buzzelis' defense made headlines too. He could guard multiple positions, protect the rim, and slide with guards. He turned stops into fast breaks, dunks into momentum. At one point, he led the league in defensive 2-point field goal percentage. That's not hype. That's real impact. And the shot. The biggest question coming into the league? Buzzelis answered that too. He went from 26% in the G League to 36% from deep in the NBA. Add in 81% from the line and a league-average mid-range jumper, and suddenly the raw prospect is a polished weapon. He has the mechanics, the touch, and the confidence. And he's just getting started. But more than the skill set, more than the shooting or the blocks, it's the mentality. After failing to complete his final dunk in the All-Star Weekend contest, Buzzelis didn't play it safe. He didn't settle. He kept trying because he wasn't there to participate, he was there to win. That mentality separates stars from stat stuffers. And Mattis Buzzelis wants to be one of the greats. He talks like it, plays like it, lives like it. So yes, the 2024 NBA draft may have been one of the weakest on paper. And yes, 10 teams passed on him, convinced someone else had more upside. But it's starting to feel like history's repeating itself. Like 2013 all over again, when Giannis fell into the teens. A decade later, we're watching another draft day mistake unfold. Because Mattis Buzzelis was supposed to be the #1 pick. And now, every night he steps onto the court, he plays like a man on a mission to make sure the world never forgets it. But what do you think? Did 10 teams just hand the Bulls their next franchise superstar? Could Buzzelis actually go #1 in a redraft? And is he the best thing to happen to Chicago since Derrick Rose? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about it. And if you're enjoying this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe for more stories like this, and check out our last video on Olivier Rioux, the 7 feet 9 inches giant who might just take the NBA by storm.